Any tips for people who are going to remove this for the first time? Because that is, you know, timing is obviously hugely important. Like anything that, because I know you have to remove these brackets, right, first, and then the chain will just kind of slide off, right?
I have to remove the tensioner.
Oh, the tensioner. I always forget about that.
So the tensioner here has a lock. It's automatically locking, which is connected to here. So you'll... I don't think it's gonna allow me to... Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to hit it. Alright, so I'll just have to unbolt it.
Too much tension to just unlock it?
Yeah, because it's got the chain tensioned up. These bolts loose. It's gonna give me a little bit more wiggle room. Okay. Now I've got enough room to maneuver it. So the idea is to hold this open while you push in on the plunger. I'll pull it off and explain. The tensioner is spring loaded and also works hydraulically. So it's got oil pressure that shoots into here in the back of the plunger. When the engine revs up and builds more oil pressure, it's going to tension up, put more tension on the timing chain. So pretty much how to unlock it or lock it up is you can see when this is opened up, when you go to push back on the plunger, it automatically locks it. So it has this amount of travel to allow you know, some movement and the hydraulic portion and spring portion to put tension on it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna hold this down, push back, and then you're gonna release it so that way it catches the last tooth, and then put this pin in this hole, which will hold it locked, but also hold the plunger pushed back. So when we go to install it, we'll put it on, bolt it up, and then pull the pin out, and then it'll shoot out and put tension on the chain.
Cool. What kind of pin is that? Is a special pin for this? It looks like a giant push pin. But...
Yeah, you can use any push pin. This one's a larger push pin that has come with multiple, you know, timing components that I've replaced over the years that I save. So pretty much, if you were to buy this brand new from Nissan, it would probably come just like this, in the locked position with this pin, and you'd install it and then yank the pin out, and that's it.
Cool. Yeah. So now you can see that. What was that called? I'm sorry. I thought that was a like this, like a bracket, but it's a
That's the timing chain guide.
The guide, yes. So you can see now that it's not. There's nothing there. So this now will move much more freely.
Yes.
Because you couldn't pull it off without removing that, or removing this. Now what is that?
This is just the upper timing chain guide.
Timing chain guide. Okay. Cool. Anytime I see like you like pull like something off like that's really tiny, I always think of those like mechanics meme thing where it's like,
where'd you learn to do that one thing with your fingers?
Yeah.
Just have enough slack in here to be able to start to walk the chain off.
Ooh, every time. There you go. Do these stretch over time?
Over time they will stretch. That's why they have the automatic tensioner. That way, if they're, you know, as wear and tear happens and they will stretch over time, the tensioner will continuously keep the same tension on that chain.
So like it'll just get tighter and tighter.
Yeah.
Or the tension will get tighter and tighter.
All right, so now that's off.
Shelby's hair.
Better access. I'll also take that off.
What?
That guide.
Oh yeah, so you can get the lower ones there. So how many gaskets are we changing? 1, 2.
Just 2.
Just the top and the bottom?
Yes.
You can remove that, and we'll be right back. What's wrong with the hardware?
We replaced them with Allen keys rather than the Phillips because you can get a little bit more drive and torque on an Allen key.
Yeah, let's see.
You gotta be shitting me.
It doesn't look cardboard to me.
Nope. They've been replaced before. Well, whoever replaced them before didn't replace the hardware, and they also didn't use Loctite, hence why they were coming loose. So, although, yeah, that sucks. Well, I mean,
Well, we
he didn't know it was done.
Yeah, wanted to be sure. Dang.
So even though it was done before, I mean, in my opinion, it wasn't really done right. None of the hardware was Loctited in, and they still used the factory Phillips head bolts. So although he probably wouldn't have had a problem with the gasket completely blowing out and crumbling off, he would have probably ended up with still a gasket leak.
Because of the hardware backing out?
Yeah, because of hardware backing out. Yeah. So the end result would have been the same as oil galley gasket failure, even though this gasket's been replaced.
Why is it important to Loctite them? Because you can't get the
because
you can't torque them down?
Well, because it's a Phillips head drive, so you don't get a real good engagement when you go to torque it down. And you know, using Loctite, you know, prevents that hardware from backing out. Even like the back of the oil pump uses that same hardware, where it's just like a Phillips head drive, tapered seat, and it's common that the stuff backs out with you know, due to all the heating and cooling and the vibration over time. It's just what it is. So it's really important that it just gets Loctited in place so that never happens. So yeah.
Now we're just gonna time lapse the remainder. But if you've hung on this long, then thank you for watching. We really do appreciate our 300 followers. We do. And if we help, you know, one or two of you, then that's cool too. Or at least if we show you an idea of what you're about to get yourself into, if you've considered doing the job without, you know, without a buddy at least to help you. So, all right, cool. Get ready to put the cover back on.
Yeah, I gotta prep the cover, get all the old RTV off, get it all cleaned up. That way it'll seal properly. You don't want any of the old crap in the way.
Yes, take the time, clean off the old gun.
Yep.
This
No good.
This, look how nice. Oh, so nice and shiny now. Oh, so nice and shiny now. Okay, what you want? Alright. Well, at least he's got nice hardware on there now.
Alright, so I'll finish prepping the surface a little better and then start laying down a glob of RTV. And we'll get the cover on the car and all sealed up.
And just goop it on.
Just goop it on.
Don't fumble in that. Nope.
That alternator and power steering's gotta get moved.
Which way?
To the left.
Like this way?
Yeah, but it's the alternator that's in the way.
I know. We'll have to move one.
Yep, just like that. Yep.
There's no way in hell I could do that without getting RTV over everything. I'd probably fumble that a million fucking times. Seriously. Because it's like big and that was pretty skillful, I'm not gonna lie. Oh yeah, so diamond cover.
Get this lower oil pan glued on real quick. and then eat some dinner. Nope. Alright, so when putting the lower oil pan on, I usually keep some studs because they'll be your best friend when it comes to guiding them on, so you don't end up putting it up there and, you know, smushing the RTV all the way around and crap. Make sure the surface is cleaned and prepped with brake cleaner and dry, new oil. And then Earl pan bolts. What you do is get the stud in the hole. Stud in that hole. You take it and you push up. That's it.
All right, what's next?
Tighten them down and then let it seal.
Yeah.
Now let it dry.
We'll be back once it's dry. So we're ready to start this up. Joe, we got you a new coolant in here. Everything looks like it's hooked back up. No, just kidding.